Welcome to the Brewery Report on 8/10/26. It is the Great Taste Recap Brewery Report. We have a loaded lineup for you tonight. Let's see. We have the newest tap rooms launching soon. We got info right on the lawn at the Great Taste. So that's going to be interesting to talk about. Fundraising. There's a bunch of local breweries, either established breweries or breweries in the making that are raising capital, but we want to tell you about. We have the Great Taste Recap. We are going to talk about the pours, the buzz, our takeaway from the weekend. We will absolutely certainly address the Nerdy Beer Brawl, crowning our champion, the Nerdy Beer guys, and breaking down the final results on that. We have new additions to the Badger Beer Report family that we want to make sure that y'all know about. And without further ado, it's time to did I get everything in here? Joining me to break it all down is my colleague, Director of Brewing Relations and Research, and the author of Flights Across America. That is the one and only Joe Geyer. Hi, Joe. How you doing?
Good, Greg. How are you doing? We've had a couple days now to get ourselves together and take a deep breath after a very busy full week for sure, but certainly Saturday. Start to finish, it's a long day of, and it's a very different experience that I feel like each year that we've gone together, it's become more and more about Badger Beer Report, and so there's a lot more things for us to try to remember to do. I feel like we did pretty good with our list. I felt like overall, but I mean, I feel like everyone that goes there has a plan, and I don't think anyone ever gets to every single thing they plan on getting to. So,
well, didn't Bill Parcells say you have a plan until you get punched in the face?
Yeah.
So you have a plan until you get that first sip and you see your first friend and you get stuck at the amorphic tent for 30 minutes like me.
Yeah. We tried to get we got a lot of talking in, during those first hours before general admission. And after that is just kind of a, hang on to your hat and, see what you can accomplish.
See where it all lands. Yeah. So we want to welcome big numbers tonight. We want to welcome everybody in. I'm assuming, Joe, that we have a lot of new people in. So we're going to give y'all the brewery report experience before we get to all the Great Taste things and all the things we're doing here. So Joel, we got information right on the Olin Park lawn about our latest and our one that's going to be opening the soonest, right, Joel?
Yeah, and one of the biggest projects being underway here in the state, Oak North, which is one that we've obviously been following closely since they first announced that they would be building a massive facility up in Appleton. And we were given some information that when we say soon, we mean very soon. The POS systems were in. The plan is that the first main tap room is going to be what opens up first, and it's going to be staggered as, is it 4 or 5 total tap rooms, like spread out? I'm blanking on if it's 4 or 5.
Yeah,
either way, it's multiple tap rooms,
yeah.
a huge outdoor area. But our understanding is that at the initial opening is going to be of the main tap room, and that should be coming down the pipeline here very, very quickly. We may even have something, by the end of this week. For certainly, next week we may have some more information. They're probably waiting for us to wrap this up to drop it. But either way, we're very excited to go and check this out. Obviously, if it's not obvious from what I'm saying, this seems to be a project that is going to, come out in waves. So it's going to be one that if you do go and visit it right when they first open, it'll be a very different experience than if you go back there once it's fully completed.
Yeah. So some of the off the record that we're going to put on the record here, beer's being shipped there now.
Yep.
We are told 2 weeks, and we were also told. I also asked a specific question because this is so big, Joel. When Oak North opens, what is the percentage of it that it was going to be open? And do you remember what was said, Joel? I think it was 20%.
I was going to guess 20 because like I said, I think it's about 1, and there's either 4 or 5 total tap rooms in the outdoor area. So He didn't mention if the outdoor complex would be part of that initial opening. But for sure, obviously, the main tap room is going to be what I think people can go into first.
Yeah. So for y'all who are going to go out there, it's going to be tight, and then it's going to be, it feels like it's going to be just an expansion wide. They're just going to be, finishing things piecemeal and just opening them up. But that should be happening here soon, Joel. We were told 2 weeks. So let's hope for that. And yeah, any last one, nope, Joel?
No, just excited. We will obviously follow along. We will obviously have sharing. We'll obviously share the announcement when that does come. We get up to Appleton. I'm sure that we'll get up there at some point to get boots on the ground. As I said, though, this is one that just because they are opening does not mean that it's going to be the final, project. So we'll have to kind of take that all with a grain of salt. But very excited for them to be approaching at least part of the finish line, not the full finish line, but enough of the finish line, I guess. But yeah, very excited for Ope.
All right. And we're going to move across the state here to what I've been affectionately calling, northern Wisconsin is Wisconsin. Actually, we're going to go to the Driftless area, right, Joe? Yep. With our expansion of a brewery that I am big time fans of, Joel.
Yep. Turtle Stack, based in La Crosse. We've been following when they first dropped the bomb that they were opening up a new, larger production facility and tap room in nearby Onalaska, which is it's basically a suburb of La Crosse, just to the north. It's going to be over by the Woodmans, I believe, if you are familiar with that area at all. And they recently have been, pretty good about posting some social media updates as they seem to be rapidly approaching, maybe an opening timeline here. All the tanks have been in. A lot of the interior seems to be getting done. And then I know they just did a video walkthrough where they kind of showed off some of the, updates and how the construction project is coming along.
I'm going to play this show and you can talk over it.
Yeah. No, I was just waiting for it to start here because obviously this is the Turtle Brew updates. If you go onto their Facebook and watch it, it is a lot of it is kind of tongue in cheek. They were showing off things like vents leading outside the building, pipes, obviously. Basically, though, what you're seeing here is that it seems like a lot of the big hard stuff is done. That I'm sure there needs to be some interior work done, but the brewery's all in there. Seems like all of the drywall's up. The exterior seems to be pretty much all finished. So yeah, we're looking forward to this. And I've said this each time that we've talked about it, because I know there were a lot of questions when it was posted. They are keeping their original downtown location in La Crosse. They are not going to they're not closing that. This is an addition. So yeah, this is a big project. This is another big new build that just kind of popped up. Hopefully I would like to get out to La Crosse and because I've had their beers. I have not visited either their original location and obviously not the one being built. So it would be fun to get out that way and check them out.
Yeah, another tent that I missed.
Yeah, it is. Listen, we had Lone Girl calling us out. We got a lot of breweries that, we weren't able to get to for, a multitude of reasons, mainly because it's great taste and it's chaos. But yeah, I would have liked to get over there just to kind of poke around more about the expansion. But yeah, either way, best of luck to them here, as it seems like similar to Ope. I don't know. I don't believe they're going to be opening quite as quickly as Ope, but they sure seem to be on kind of that final home stretch.
Turtle Stack?
Yeah, I mean, did you look at their interior looks just about as done as Ope's does right now.
Oh, I thought this was going to be a tap room, though.
It's both. Yeah, it's going to be both.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's going to be open by the end of the month. I'm just saying that I think they're starting to get in here on the home stretch. All
right. Well, one that we know we won't see until 27 is this one. They are One Barrel. They started originally in Madison. They have moved up to Door County, and now, Joel, they're doing what?
Yeah, so based in Egg Harbor. I have not been to their Egg Harbor tap room. The only time I visited them was, as you mentioned, in Madison. But the Egg Harbor-based brewery now, they announced a while back, I forget what month this was, that they were going to be taking over the former Abbey Bar in downtown De Pere. And then after this initial announcement, though, there really has been radio silence on this project, not really any updates. And I'm assuming that had to do with paperwork and, leases and all that kind of good stuff. But shortly, 2 days, I think, before the Great Taste, and then the morning of the Great Taste, we did finally get some updates, as it looks like whatever needed to be completed was completed. They have been given the full go to begin on this construction project. The post said that they're opening in early 2027. There's also going to be an attached, like a wine bar type situation business along with this tap room. And this is obviously one that we're keeping close tabs on, because not only are they opening, but our friends at Nicolay Ale Works are going to be opening just a few doors down from them. And so Nicolay is hopefully coming in here before the end of the year, but in a matter of less than a year, whatever, in a matter of months, De Pere is going to go from having 0 breweries to having 2 breweries downtown, relatively right next to each other. So very exciting. Although I guess the One Barrel, I believe, is just going to be a tap room. I'm not sure. They might be brewing there. I have to double check on that. I'm blanking on that at the moment.
I thought there's going to be brewing equipment there, and technically, it's Cocoon De Pere.
Are they technically? They might have downtown. A De Pere address. You're right,
but not downtown. They're certainly not downtown.
No, they're not. Yeah.
Right. The De Pere downtown has no brewery at this point. But
yeah, they do technically have a De Pere address, though. That's a good catch. I always forget that because I consider them Green Bay, but
right, it's not downtown though. And De Pere downtown has none at this point. So that is going to be a desert that is served here pretty well, actually, because we have One Barrel is not a new spring chicken like Nicolay. No. Nicolay, actually, neither of them are spring chickens. Actually, no. Nicolay just didn't have a space for a while, right?
But no, they've been brewing for a couple of years, and One Barrel is obviously big one there. I mean, they're commuter Kolsch. I mean, they have several beers that are fairly well known, I would say, in the craft beer community.
Yeah, and Joel, we will address this later, but one of the emerging locales in Wisconsin, but growing is this whole Fox Valley and Green Bay area, and including that is another one that we hope will, or that we suspect will be coming in 27. But there looks like there's maybe you need a little crowdfunding help here at Quiet World, Joel.
Yeah, and we've talked with David Lamb quite a bit, the owner and founder there of Quiet World. This is the one that we've covered where they are going to be a big music venue, restaurant, brewery, a large brewery, all taking over. They're renovating this huge barn
event center.
Yep. And so he already has his food truck going. You can go and follow on Facebook. He's very good about posting when and where he will be with that food truck to try to start to get the brand out there, get people to recognize the food. However, he did recently post that, that in terms of, I don't know exactly, I'm sure that it costs to deal with the renovation of the barn or, reconstruction of it, however that may be. He did post a GoFundMe. We shared that link on our page. And if you go to Quiet World Facebook, you can find it there as well. So you can read more about the project. We have, again, talked with him quite a bit, and I would assume that we will get to hear from him more again as hopefully this project moves forward. He was very open with us that this was not going to be a quick turnover for a project. Hey, and David's right there watching us. Thanks for the mention. Yeah, David, I mean, we are shouting out Quiet World. This was a project that when Greg and I hopped on the phone, we were very excited about. And yeah, we will continue to monitor and follow and do whatever we can. And do you have anything to add, Greg?
No. No, and that one's again, no worries, y'all. I still think we're on we're on project to get that in maybe at 27. Things may change. We'll if anything changes, obviously. Yeah, y'all. So here we go. If y'all have any questions, here is his direct line. We have a direct line with Dave. So if anything is imminent, we will be letting y'all know. Now, also, Joe, something that's imminent here is one of my favorite. I only been one stop there. One of my favorite Green Bay breweries. We're still in Green Bay area. We're still in Fox Valley. This is where it's happening, y'all. A lot of things are going on. Real quick before we go, 27 is still the plan for Quiet World.
David.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
We're pulling for David. That sounds like we've been in love with this project since we heard about it.
And brewery that I've been in love with since I stopped there is actually Zombaldi Beer. I made one stop there. I thought they were interesting, but they are doing some is to jump in on when they're asking for help. So speaking of asking for help, Joe, I wouldn't say they're asking for help, but I would say that help is needed in our tornado ravaged area of Menasha. We should not be forgetting about them, even though it's been what now? It seems like 2 weeks. I drove through that area. You can see the damage on the highways. It's devastating.
Beer drive kind of things where similar to Sierra Nevada, when they had the recipe, the Resilience IPA, I believe it was, that helped raise money for the wildfires, where they essentially had a recipe and anyone could brew it if they were, donating a portion of the proceeds to, an organization. And Tad has put together the Neighbors Helping Neighbors Ale. And he has posted the full recipe open to, Wisconsin breweries that are wanting to brew it. And then there's a list of suggested organizations that you can donate to in that area. So you can also, I know that they have, so besides the Derriere Facebook page, he did make a Facebook page specifically for this campaign. You can also reach out directly to Tad. I'm sure he is very interested in getting this going and would love for any breweries that would like to support him with this. Well, not support him directly, obviously, but support the communities there. So it is going to a really good cause, going to community that certainly needs it. And yeah, just a really cool thing. It's fun not to see, a new brewery essentially trying to step up to the plate here and do something to help rebuild the community that they are close to.
Yeah, you can get all this information. We will post out the specific page for this, but you can get this on Derriere Brewing, definitely Facebook, and you can get Tad's. You can directly connect them there through that, and nothing but love to our people in Menasha, and we hope. So this drive, y'all, goes from Labor Day to August 31st. So we hope to see after the buzz of the great taste. End out here, that we could start, getting serious about this. So this is a very interesting, a little bit more than Chris. And then
I don't know. I think I saw Chris. I'm the opposite. I think I saw Chris a little bit more than Chelsea, but either way, neither one was for long enough.
Yeah. And y'all, so really quick, Chelsea and BJ are coming up here in an hour and 15 minutes. So you'll hear everything that Chelsea has to say. You also hear BJ's side of everything too. So, but Joel, so some of the things that you talked about, Joel, or some of the people you met, let's get Joel's recap. Let's get in here.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like this year was almost more of a whirlwind than any year previous, because I would say that this was a year that I tasted fewer different beers than any of my other prior one, simply because I was spending a lot of time talking with people, making connections. So some of them were obviously connections that we already have, such as you can see there's Sarah at Mobcraft. We love Sarah. We may have some other projects coming down the pipeline with her. We will see. And meeting up with the Torzalas was fun. And then, there's a lot of people that we were crossing paths with last ditch, people that we already know, as well as you were able to introduce me to a few people that as a whole BBR has some, connection with, but that I personally did not. And so I'm really excited about starting to grow the relationships there with places like Alt and Herbery, and, getting to check in with a lot of different folks. It was a lot of fun. Seeing Matt from Sway was excellent. I didn't get a picture of him.
I didn't see Matt. I didn't see
Matt.
I didn't see Matt on Green Face. I saw him at New Glarus. Which is wild.
I think you were, because Matt was at the tent when we were there, but he was kind of in the back, kind of stepping to the side. Either way, though. But yeah, in terms of the beer, though, I mean, I did still have some really fun beers and some really good beers. Starting with the top left, one thing I wrote about, my favorite dark beer of the day was the chocolate coffee peanut butter porter.
Thank you for accenting that. Thank you.
Copper State. So this is weird because I believe I technically had this beer when I visited them, but I visited them back in like when they first opened, like when they were brand new, like they were like they had not been open very long. And I think I had this beer then, but I didn't remember it. So it was basically new to me because it's been so many years. And it was so good. I'm a sucker for peanut butter in dark beer. And the peanut butter I felt was the strongest flavor and aroma, but the coffee and chocolate kind of swirled all in there too to provide some nice balance. You know, and kind of keeping you on your toes with that. And yeah, it was just delicious. That was my favorite dark beer. One that I wanted to shout out because I know that we've talked about some different IPAs, you know, on, you know, from Amorphic. I know the Fond du Lac one, I think got mentioned. I don't know if you've talked about Smooth 85 on any platforms yet, but this was from Burrow. And the reason I just seeked this out, I had put this one in my Great Taste preview because a couple weekends ago they had won the People's Choice Award at the Wisconsin IPA Fest here in Milwaukee at Third Space Brewing.
Yes.
And so I had to go and get it. And this one, and I remember this one very distinct because this was one of the early beers. This was one of the first ones that I had when I got in there. And this was a hazy IPA that took me back to like the roots of the real banger New England IPAs from New England itself back 5-10 years ago. Like when we lived up in New England, that would have been in 2017 for several months when we were traveling. That was when I first really got into New England IPAs, and there were some crazy good ones. And the tropical notes on this thing, it was so like soft that just the aroma was just bursting out of it. It shocked me. I went in expecting to at least like it because it blew me away. It was my favorite personal IPA, I think, of the day. Some other ones up there.
Hold on. Can I get it? Yeah, can I get it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, for sure.
Shout out to Kylie, who was the brewer at Hillsborough. I also liked his you have a picture. I also like that Pop-Tart thing. It was good.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
He's 27. He's one of our youngest brewers, and he's an emerging brewer, I believe. They got 40 taps at Hillsborough. I cannot wait to get out there. Shout out to Kylie from he's young. He hasn't been on this beat he's been the brewer for less than a year. I got a picture of him. We took a picture of him. I ain't gonna get it up, but yeah, I'm fully impressed about what Hillsborough's doing. I kind of always have been, but yeah, he put them on the map there with winning the People's Choice Award, which is won by I believe numerous times Venture Brew Co. So you know, he's out, you know, that's good area to be in. And the Pop-Tart Paradox was fun too. Hillsborough, big shout out. They were actually one of my standouts actually from the ones that I did taste, Joel. Where else are you going here? It looks like G5 down at Beloit, right?
G5. So this was the fun beer, I would say. I had some other ones, like I did try the Pop-Tart, you know, I tried some other fun, interesting beers, but in terms of visuals, this is probably the most vividly colored beer that I've seen beers that are red and blue and all shades of different colors, but in terms of an unnatural color, I mean, this looks like Caribbean waters, like pure light tropical blue. And this was one of 4 sours. They had 4 sours there that were themed after different like sweets or candies from like I think the 90s. And the one I had was the blue raspberry dipstick. And I loved it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're not into like tartness, this was not the beer for you, because it packed a pretty good punch in that regard. The blue raspberry flavor was huge. I would have enjoyed, this was one of the ones that I probably wouldn't have needed a full pipe. I would have enjoyed sitting down and having like an 8-ounce half pour of this. And you know, and really getting to dive into it. So that one was really fun. I think if I'm reading on the sign there, I know.
Sorry.
No. Pull that back up. I think creamsicle, cherry limeade. Which one was it? I can't remember which other one that we did try, but they were all very flavorful for sure. And I'm now realizing that I do have another dark beer on here to mention, but it wasn't my favorite from that brewery, which is probably why I wasn't considering it for the chocolate coffee. But the bottom middle picture there is from Sway. And yeah, Kayla, like that's what I was saying. Like I was thinking dark like porter, but this dark lager from Sway was let me find it here. Yeah, Where the Dark Wind Whirls. And it was fermented in an oak lager, and it was served via a gravity cask. I mean, Matt just knocked it out of the park. I don't know what to say about that. I would say though, my favorite beer from them was actually the county pine, which was an oak fermented saison brewed with locally foraged white pine candles, which are kind of like, I think, the new growth type of thing. Apparently it's similar to like using the spruce tips type of thing. I never heard of this, but I was looking into it, and this was one where I am a sucker. I love pine in like beer. Like if you use like the spruce tips, the piney notes, but it has to be done properly. It can't just taste like you're eating a pine cone. And this one was done expertly. The saison was still definitely there, but the pine notes shone through. It was just immaculate. Those were both ones that I had at the second half of the fest, and they still just stuck out so much. I am going to get up to Sway here soon. I mean, every time I have his stuff, I'm just so impressed. It was excellent. I was going to say before I hop on to the last one, I'm going to shout out. Do you have anything else that you want to throw in with Sway? I know that we fanboy about him, but it is what it is.
Well, I had that at the 4th anniversary party up at Sway, and it was the best thing I had there, period, dot end. It was by far. It was like, this is stellar. This is spectacular. Actually, my timing, I rolled up there and I had the first pour somehow, Joel. It was amazing. Right off the cast.
VIP accents.
So, I have good timing with these things.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was, I didn't have it. I forget what I had at Sway that day. Another one I actually liked was that Vault collab. Actually, I remember I said I didn't like it at Sway, but I think I was just overwhelmed with Sway. And then honestly, it was just a straightforward pill. So any kind of like straightforward beer, when you're at Sway and he's got all these fodder and
the oak fermented
like saisons and the watermelon thing that he had that was really good too. So yeah, Matt's a maestro. We already know. So that beer is one of my favorites too. And Hinder.
Yeah, well, the reason I wanted to shout this one out for sure is that they had a Grotzer. And as Greg knows, this is one of my favorite styles. I love this style. You never see them, but the super light ABV, smoked wheat, like it's just, it's so good. And that's why I just immediately had to go there and give it a try. The first time I ever had one was at, what is it? What's the brewery down by the Austin airport? Live Oak in Austin was the first time I ever had a Grotzer, and I've been chasing that high anytime I can find one. So that's why I included that. I mean, and I'm sure that you're going to mention some others. I mean, I had great beers at Working Draft, McFleshman's, Flicks. What was the beer that we had at Alt? Was it the Doppel? Hold on. If you want to take a second, you want to you can talk about Flicks. Let me go look. I'll go look at the app, and I think I can figure it out.
So I'm with Joel. Like this year was a struggle bus for me as far as having beers. It really was, and it was really figuring out like having the beers and making the connections and talking to people. It was just a mess. But what I do remember is this: I walked in. I was in. Meeting people getting early. I walked in. Ron from Amorphic was there. There was no line. And I just went down, Joel, and had like 5 of his beers. 4 of them were bangers. The only one that wasn't a certified banger was that 7-Up beer, but it was pretty good because it tasted like 7-Up. But he had some rice. He had some Vietnamese rice lager.
I mean, the Biohoy Cola, yeah.
It's just So Ron from Amorphic. Of course, I enjoyed my McFleshman stop, but I was there recently, so I just had 547, got out of there. Flicks has always been so shout out to Flicks. They're award winning. They're in they have this little Joel, you were at Flicks, right? You saw so there's this little box brewery that's like it's just I cannot wait We talked to the brewer and he's like, yeah, you can come for a brew day. So I cannot wait to get there. That was a pleasant surprise. Everything is really good there. The only thing that stops me from going in there is that it's in the mall, y'all. And it's like a mall brewery. So like I'm kind of averse to the mall unless I drop my boys out there. And I don't know. Now they're old. We're past that. But Flix was great. Obviously Sway was great. My stop said stopping meeting with Lyle. His Chris talked about it. There's a reel out, Chris. That his experimental series is his experimental series with his, the hops that he's doing is really great. So I didn't even get to the collab station, y'all. I didn't even see my favorite vault. I walked past my favorite Giant Jones. I don't even know where Delta
I did not
was.
walk past Giant Jones.
I saw. Actually, we didn't. Well, they gave us our things for our contest. So
well, you had been there. Yeah, you had already been there.
I live there. That's my third place. So like, and they were doing some fantastic things. But my point is that like, my schedule wasn't about the places that I like. It was about just going to different places and actually, making sure. Stopped at Hoya Hop House. I don't even think I had a beer there. I saw Jarrett, talked to Michelle. I don't even think I have a beer there. I tried. I had Laminar. It was good. I don't know, Joel. It was just kind of it was for a beer tasting guy. The Great Taste was kind of a mess for me, if that makes sense. I know. But Joel, so did you have anything before we move on?
I had the one. It was the Oktoberfest from Alt. It was their Marzen.
Oh, I don't think I've had that one.
I believe it was. At least that's the one that would make sense on here. I thought you said it was maybe a Doppelbock, but maybe I misheard it. Either way, whatever we had it would have been, to me, it tasted like it could have been an award-winning beer in like if it had gone in a regular category, not even gluten-free. As we should clear, I think most people watching this probably know that Alt is fully gluten-free. But that
Alt is full of bangers now.
They have really improved. They make some excellent stuff.
So real quick, I didn't talk about what I was drinking, unfortunately, but if you're done, actually you be done and then I'll tell you. Because this is gonna be our segue out of this part. We can of course, Joel. You're part of this.
Always more than I can, BS about. I got enough beers to talk, but like overall, those were kind of, the package.
You're a co-host and co-producer of this, so we can always go back if you want. But I'm going to say that I've been drinking Das Fest Prost Pilsner. It was given to me by Nerdy Beer Guy. This was the Das Fest festival that he was at, and this is the beer that I believe Busterbeck's, which is another brewery I didn't get to. At the Great Taste, brews this nice, fine, drinkable Kolsch. So that leads us to Joel talking about the Nerdy Beer Bash Brawl, y'all. That the Nerdy Beer guys won. They got more votes than us, y'all, with their Burko Pop Bomb Pop, which was a fun beer. It was I actually think they nailed it, Joel, as far as like, getting the not being too sweet and not being too, sour. It was drinkable. It was great. I loved our beer, which is a Shoreline Picnic Table. For the record, y'all, y'all can go to, you got to get the Topsy Turvy really soon. They brewed a small batch of that. The Shoreline is going to be out and cans coming soon. Joel have that information. It'll be available at Deadbird tomorrow when they open on Wednesday. And yeah, man, this was fun. It was good to promote the brewers that are involved. I'm a fan of both of them. I still have not been to Deadbird, so we're gonna do that really, really soon. I was at Topsy Turvy recently. Really fun place in Lake Geneva. Lake Geneva is a madhouse in the summer. I ain't even know. Y'all didn't warn me, but this was fun. It's always fun to work with the Nerdy Beer guys. We are new friends. We are basically a new partnership and new friends with them. They were just the most gracious bunch of people to lose to. Since I was the only Badger Beer person there taking the L, they were gracious, fun, wonderful. It was a good time. Shout out to them. Shout out to the Great Taste for hosting us. And that's it. This is our concession speech, if there is one. We will be back next year to kick y'all guys' butts. But it was fun. Russell's a great guy. I loved all my time with Nick. I love all my time with Russell. I enjoy all my time with BJ and Dave and the Nerdy Beer crew. So on that, I'll let you take the floor on this one, Joel.
Yeah, I mean, it was both beers were very good, and I think that's what it comes down to. I think it was also very much a learning experience for us in terms of how to do a voting at a beer festival and how maybe not to, in terms of getting people to vote, because we really didn't get many votes at all. And so it was also kind of an egg in our face trying to make it easier for you folks next year, because we did not have many people vote on this.
Right.
But either way, the one thing that I will say is that I still will go down with the ship with loving my beer. But if I were like what did impress me, though, as you said, was that this beer was just really well made. It was a better true beer than I thought it was going to be. I figured it was going to be a little more on kind of the trendy, kind of fun side of things. And really, it was just a really darn good Berliner Weiss that had some subtle flavors in there of kind of that the raspberry cherry kind of going on in there. And it was very good. It was very crushable. I would have drank a pint of it for sure. And yes,
you're talking about Portos, right? You're talking about Portos.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
And then on our side, though, if you want to go and try our delicious Shoreline Table beer that I think has a little more flavor than even we anticipated, at the 3.8%. So you can go and drink 3 or 4 of them. Besides it being on tap at Dead Bird, it will be, Nick told me it's getting canned on Thursday. So by the weekend, you will hopefully be able to go in and pick up cans to go with that beautiful, beautiful can art. It is my favorite artwork for a beer that I've seen in a long time, not just because I helped with, a couple of the design aspects. The Milwaukee flag thing was all them. Like I had like kind of the picnic table and the fishing pole kind of thing going on there. But having the Milwaukee flag kind of subset in there was just chef's kiss. It's beautiful. And it turned out really good. It's a very interesting beer as you kind of let it, as if you were drinking a whole pint of it.
You let it warm up.
We'll be going down there probably Friday, because it's one thing to drink some splashes of it. I'm going to sit down and have a pint of that beer. I'm going to buy some cans to go so I can share it with some neighbors and my dad. I'm very proud to have been part of that, big part of that process, and looking forward to next year. It'll be fun to see if we'll have to choose kind of a different category, rather than not just doing a summer crusher again. We'll have to pick a different target or something of that manner. But either way, was a lot of fun. And I think most importantly, both beers were good. I think it would have been, if one of the beers hadn't turned out, it would have been a little more disappointing, but both beers turned out to be very, very good. So it was overall, if we can figure out the voting next time, it'll be even a bigger success. And I'd like to say again, thank you though to Deadbird, to Topsy, and to Nerdy Beer Guys, everyone that was part of this kind of collaboration project, multiple collaboration, however you want to define it. It was a lot of fun, and I know that we're both looking forward to next year.
And I will add thank you to the Madison Homebrewers and Tasters Club for the prime location for our tents, putting them together, cooperating totally. Shout out to Doug Randall and everybody else who enabled that and to happen. And cheers to that. Well, one of the things is we do one of the things we do with the brewery report, y'all, is we have a tip of what is it called, Joel?
Fun fact. Yeah.
So I'm gonna do this one. Normally Joel pulls out some brewery fact out of his head and places in front of him. Greg's gonna do this. Shout out to Mark Schnepper. Anybody who knows anybody who's in our club knows Mark, former president of the MSTG, gave me this information this afternoon. But this is what the Great Taste looked like in '87, y'all. The first year, it was $5 to get in. The organizer was Carol Tollefson. It was 250 people to 500. It was at the Italians Workingsman Club. And Joel, do you know any of them breweries there? I mean, we know some of them, but look at them.
Yeah, I mean, Capital, Leinenkugel, Summit, Sprecher, but then Millstream, that's down in Iowa. But yeah, I mean, obviously there has been some changes and some minor growth to the Great Taste since that initial year. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting to see where it's came from, and
Wow.
they probably, if you had told someone in 87 that it would grow and you told them how many different beers and you told them there was going to be a Pop-Tart beer, and a blue raspberry salad, like they would have had no idea what you were talking about. But yeah, it's fun. And we're hoping to maybe do some different, Greg, we got some things we're thinking about, some projects with like some great taste, brands and logos and stuff that we're kind of working on behind the scenes. But either way, I just find all this stuff interesting, like the history of the Great Taste, what it has looked like throughout the years. And it's my favorite beer day of the year. It's my favorite festival. And yeah, just shout out to the entire, as you already said, the Homebrewers Club, just everything about it. It's so well run, which I think is one part. We talk about how great the beer is, how great the setting is, and how great the people are. Well, it's really well run, which is what helps make it feel that great of a festival too. I mean, they've really got this down to a T. Yeah, I'm already counting down the days till next year. I got to put in the clock, I think it's going to be on the 14th next year. So we're actually more than a year away.
And so that on that graphic, y'all, you saw Capital. Capital was 1 year old. Capital turned 40 this year, and the club turns 40. Or I'm sorry, the Great Taste itself turns 40 next year. I think the club precedes the Taste. I'm not sure, but Capital shout out for 40 and Great Taste 40 should be. I don't know how they're going to make 40 even better than 39, but you know what, Joe? They're going to do it. So shout out to our brewing partners, our current brewing partners, Deadbird, Inventors, Sunshine, and Topsy Turvy. Every single one of them has. Sunshine will have the Stout Blooded American soon, but until then, you can go to Giant and Delta Beer Lab and Giant Jones for that. It will be on Sunshine soon. The Topsy Turvy, y'all, has the Borkos Nerdy Beer. Inventor still has 2 of our beers on tap: the Malted Milk Bowl and the Aluminum Flow. And then we also have, as Joel said, Joel, you might be able to catch Joel sucking down some Shoreline table beers this weekend. He's gonna probably tell us when he's there. So if y'all want to join. But we want to shout out, and we just have the best partners, Joel. And y'all can find all those tap lists on our Facebook page. Every day we put out a tap list. So with that being said, Joel, this is I love this. I know this is Joel's favorite slide, or one of our favorite slides, which is just a quick look at all of our collaboration beers. Obviously the two, obviously Stout Blooded is from the summer mashup. Oh. Breaking news. Okay.
Oh, there we go. See, this is why. This you got industry people watching, so you know that this stuff is. We got industry people providing us with real-time updates. So shout out to Caleb, and I think we clarified. Caleb is a brewer subject. Caleb brewed Stout Blooded American, and it turned out phenomenal. So if you go and you enjoy it, make sure to thank Caleb.
All right. There you go. So there's that. So there's 3 places you can get Stout Blooded American tomorrow: Giant Jones, Delta, Sunshine Brewing. Wonderful. That beer deserves that outcome. It's exquisite. I hope y'all get a chance to try it. It really is a well done stout on 2 levels: the homebrew level and now the pro level. So with that being said, Joel, I kind of took it down, the amount of people that we're going to keep an eye on this month. But of course, you can always add if you want. You can always add if you want. What you got on these 3, buddy?
Well, we already talked about 2 of them in a way, Nicolay and Ope. But I would like to shout out Layman for a couple different reasons. One, I just like the folks there, and I've mentioned that before. 2, they continue to be excellent.
Joel, hold on a second. I'm sorry. Let me tell everybody where Layman is if they're not familiar.
Oh yes, it's West Allis, here just west of Milwaukee. Very small spot. They are currently undergoing a renovation. The old bar like building that they're part of, there's kind of a adjacent space that they are building to increase their capacity. And it has been it's been a larger project than I think they maybe anticipated. They recently posted that things have been pretty tight there with some of the timeline stuff and with the big expansion project. And they were asking folks that if, they enjoy Layman and what Layman provides for the community, to come out and support them. They also have been one of the best, if not the best brewery at providing very regular updates on a construction process. Sarah, the co-owner, has been doing lots of videos showing kind of what they're doing on almost a daily basis. And so it's been cool to kind of see things coming along. I saw flooring going in. So it seems like they're making some really good progress. And this is one that I'm sure I will go down and check out once they cross the finish line.
Yeah, I haven't been to Layman yet, so
I
got
to get
to that one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So without further ado, we have a big announcement, and then we're going to get out of here, y'all. Our big announcement is we are adding 2 people to our crew, and here they are. Carrie from McFleshman's. Maybe y'all know her. She's a bartender and just a wonderful, warm person behind the bar. One of my favorite people at McFleshman's. And we have Kyle, who is from Lion's Tail. They're going to be helping us cover this area that Joel and I can't stop talking about, y'all, which is Fox Valley, Green Bay area. They may get up to Door County. We had some reports from them from the field. Yeah, welcome. So they're going to be correspondents for us, y'all. And if you see them out and about or working at their places, please shout them out and tell them hi. We love Lion's Tail. Obviously, I love Lion's Tail and McFleshman. So it's going to be fun having correspondence there. And Joel, we need all the feet on the ground with Ope and Nicolay and Quiet Worlds. And I mean,
One Barrel.
Right. We had recently, within the past year, we've had Volt, Gnarly Cedar. It's just, we got some Baldy giving away beers for life. Not giving away, but you got to buy beers for life. We have even in, the outskirts of Green Bay with, Stubborn Brothers and Derriere coming in and Station 1, which you and I have recently both went there in the past year, and we love it. So there's just a lot going on. So we feel that Joel and I are, we can't get up there all the time. So Carrie and Kyle are going to get it done for us and the team and Wisconsin beer in general. So shout out to them. We rarely do this, Joel, but we're going to do the old. All right. So without further ado, y'all, welcome Carrie and Kyle. You'll be hearing more from them probably through us, but they may show up on the content. We don't know yet. Joel, really quick here. Any August anniversaries you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Yeah, I think I don't remember if we touched on this last time when we did this, but either way, our friends at Deadbird, I think, are, someone that we want to shout out for sure. I know 608 was a very popular stop at Great Taste, talking with some different people. So, and obviously one of the OGs, Sprecher, older than I am. So,
yeah, and I did my first visit there. It was something. Going remember we did this before because they were like, wait, what do we got on Bibulus there for unfortunately?
Yep.
Gathering Place, shout out to Black Husky. Okay, cool, Joel. So Joel, you want to speak to this real quick?
Yeah, just quick, since we haven't had an opening or closing, same numbers as when we just saw you guys here recently. 274 statewide total, 207 operating breweries and then offsite tap rooms, 28 under the other/contract category.
Yes, sir.
Yep, nothing major there.
And Joel and I have been tracking our stops this year just to show y'all where we've been. I've made 90 unique stops in Wisconsin. My last one was Vintage East on Friday. So there's that. I made 90 stops. Joel's made 30. With Wisconsin, Joel's probably made way more outside of Wisconsin. And We have 120, Joel, for the year.
Well, and we should clarify this is again just for this year. You and I have both been to I think I've been to 200 some in the state total. So this is just tracking this year, just so people watching know that.
Right. The calendar year. We have a map, y'all, for our other stops. We are 40. We have 42 that Joel and I haven't been together. Other than that, we've covered every brewery but 42. We're going to work on doing that. And lastly, and certainly not leastly,
1 free month of Patreon. We had this up again at the tent. This is your opportunity, everybody watching. This is our gift to you. It's our anniversary that we first had this out. It's for people if you want to join. Greg and I both do a multitude of different articles on the Patreon. I put a lot of time and effort into the weekly newsletter, delivering news, events, beer releases, Q&As, brewery of the week, all sorts of information that comes straight to your email inbox every single week. And yeah, we're doing a lot of fun, a lot of exclusive video content goes up on Patreon. I just recently posted another exclusive flight school that you can only get as a member of Patreon. So we love your support. And for now, that support is free. Yeah.
Who is that latest flight with? You can tease it, right?
Yeah, I can tease it here. Hold on. What? I forget.
I forgot. We both forgot. So also, while Joel looks for that, I will say that another thing is rumors and tips, or rumors that you don't hear. I'll throw one out there right now, but this is one that everybody's heard. There's a prominent brew pub in Appleton that's looking to expand. That's all I will say. And I think most of y'all know who I'm talking about, and whatever. And if you don't, DM me, I'll tell you. But it's a rumor that everybody knows. But you will get rumors that not a lot of people know in our Patreon.
We do have a rumor mill, and then the Runaway. It's the Runaway Micropub and Microbrewery, Nano Pub and Microbrewery down in Burlington. I had a really fun time. They make some great beers down there in downtown Burlington.
All right, Joel.
Yep.
Excellent. So, Joel?
Whether it's where you are visiting or where you're living, be sure to drink local everywhere. Cheers, everybody.